All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Red Thread Ministries. Today we're going to get into part 2 of The Vanishing Conscience. Brian, what's up, man?
Hello. Oh, doing my thing, doing the Christian thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I'm about to do has not been approved by the Vatican.
Uh-oh. Do I like the sound of that? I don't know. But we'll
Don't
find
know.
out.
It's just a funny thing to say.
All right, so,
Martin Luther would have liked the joke.
yeah, nailed it. So, the, that's a meme you just sent me. But anyways, reference. Nobody will get it but
Well,
us.
he nailed up the 88. Wasn't it 88 of them?
No, wasn't it 100?
Was
And
it?
like
Where am I
they
getting 88
agreed.
from?
I think the most of the Catholics around that time agreed with like 88 of them.
Ah,
I think I could be way off base, or like they agreed with like all but 20, or only agreed with 20. I don't know, one of those two. I haven't looked that far into it.
they
Actually,
didn't agree with many of them.
no, but I actually bought a book on the Reformation through
He's
Logos.
he's not he's not knocking on the door for candy.
No. You know, that's a weird one I've been seeing a lot, dude, is the whole should Christians celebrate Halloween? I mean, I guess define celebrate. Taking your kids out in
Right.
costumes to go get candy. So apparently, and I'm going to make a mess of this whole explanation, but here we go. Apparently, it was originally a Catholic tradition. So it was All Saints Day and then All Souls Day. And then like Halloween stands for like the eve of Hallows End or something weird like that. But it's like steeped in Christian what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh boy. Anyways, it's Christian.
Not sure.
Its origin is
Themes?
Christian. Yeah. And so I guess in the 20s, I think it was the 20s or 30s, they really went too far, and this is when the trick or treat thing was developed. I guess they just made a mess of one of the cities, and so people came together and they created the trick or treat, right? Like instead of going out and doing tricks and being mischievous, you just go get candy. Like you go around to different parts of the neighborhood and get candy, and that's what we have
Yeah, dude.
today. Now, just
No, we
because,
don't. What we have is a bunch of people get together and they put stuff in their trunk and they call it trunk or treat.
yeah,
They do that everywhere.
really, wow, I thought that was just a
Yeah, I
non-based
want to
thing.
say that no, dude, that's just all Americans don't trust each other anymore kind of thing.
I get that, actually. I do.
You can't go to your neighbors and then they wonder why everyone is paranoid and hates each other because trust is dead. Because
Yeah.
to them, God is dead, and so they are dead.
Mm.
So they can't trust each other.
Yep.
If you talk to a little kid, you're a pedophile. You can't do anything with anyone's kids. You can't look at them.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
can't
I
touch
feel
them.
that. Yeah.
You definitely can't touch them, but you can't even talk. You can't even look at them. You
Right.
can't talk to them.
Yeah.
As a guy, I can't even be like, cute kid. I can't. I don't even say anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, they just exist.
Yeah.
I just got to say nothing.
Right. Well, that's actually where Japan is different, man. We have people coming up and pinching cheeks and patting our kids on the head
That's
and telling
because
us how
you
cute they are.
guys don't all hate each other yet.
That's true.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a worldly thing. I was saying this is an American thing.
Well, I don't
They
doubt that that's the
every
case most places.
American's just afraid. They're just afraid of
Mm-hmm.
everything. Trust is dead, and that's not what this is about. This is about sin
Mm-hmm. Well,
and about a lot of things, really.
mm-hmm.
Fighting different principles
Yeah.
that try to be the Bible.
Yeah.
New age thinking that tries to change things like you know, what would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Self confidence,
Yeah. Self-esteem is the big one he
self
hits on there.
esteem.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that too. Yeah. both of them.
Mhm.
Just the way you feel about yourself
Yeah.
is what matters to them
Mm-hmm.
because they're dead in their sins.
Mm. Well, I gotta say, I recommended this book to my dad, and he's like, "Is it a hard read?" And I had to think about it, and it kind of is, dude. I actually have to have a dictionary up in the background because I finished out the second part yesterday in about an hour and a half, right? And I probably looked words up 8 or 9 times, like expiatory and narid. I'm not even saying them right because I don't know how to pronounce them, but it's just like,
That's just John MacArthur,
yeah,
you know.
but he doesn't talk like that in any of the sermons I've ever heard. So I'm just like,
Eh,
why you churching it up for the
he's a,
book?
I've heard him use some big words, you know what I mean?
Really? Yeah, maybe I haven't just watched enough, but
He's a bit of an intellectual,
he
you know.
seems like, well, very much so comes across as such in this book. But it could be a little daunting, and I would have a hard time not recommending it, but just being like, oh yeah, it's a great read, because it is a little difficult at times. I get caught up in it. I'm just like, what is this guy saying? But it's clearly
Well,
written by an intelligent person. You know what I mean?
I've mostly listened to it. I read very little.
Maybe that would help. I thought about doing that, but I don't know if I want to use an Audible credit on a book I already have. Because maybe this guy,
Dude,
maybe.
I thought the same thing and I did it anyway because I knew that we just had to get this done and I didn't feel like reading it,
Yeah.
or maybe not didn't feel like it, but it's not in the mood.
No, I get that. Dude, I used, when
I
I
feel
was,
like,
go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know, I was just going to say if I felt like I was going to use any of my energy to read a book, it'd be the Bible.
Right.
And
Yeah.
any other book, if I can just listen to it, I'll listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because reading takes so much out of me. Maybe because I'm diagnosed ADHD, you know.
Yeah.
Reading is just really hard. I'll find myself all the way through the page be like, I don't even know what I just read. My eyes just read that. My brain did nothing. So that's what it's like for me to read things a lot of the time. And in the Bible, it's cool to read things four
Yeah.
times in a row.
Right. You almost have to, because you learn, I almost learn something every time I read through a sentence. Again, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the living word. It's alive.
Isn't it? But, I mean, it's interesting you brought that up, because when I was a kid, I used to read like fantasy books all the time. But man, there would be times where I'd have to read the same page 3 or 4 times. I don't know if it's because my imagination's awful or I was just, I don't know, in a
I
different
know,
place as I
right?
was reading it.
I don't even know where I was in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah. And then I'll go back and read it again, and it's just like I just read it for the first time. Like, oh, boy. That was a precursor, or just letting me know how bad my memory was going to be in the future, I
When was
think.
that?
Hmm?
When was that?
This was when I was in my teens, probably. Pre-teens into
I
late teens.
remember I read The Hobbit in high school. It's about all I got.
Yeah, I read the big Lord of the Rings trilogy book. It was taxing
You
carrying
know,
that
my
around.
brother had them, and I didn't read them.
So good.
What can I say?
So good. You can say you didn't read them.
Well, I love Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, but I've not read it.
Mm-hmm.
Never will, I don't think. Maybe I'll listen to it.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. It's a lot. That book was like 3,000 pages. It was as big as my ESV study Bible, which is like 3,000 pages. So,
I need my ESV is not a study Bible.
really, I've
Yeah,
contemplated getting a Bible that's not a study Bible. Actually,
it's a little dinky one.
yeah, I don't know that because I find
I
myself.
have two study Bibles, and I guess that's enough
Yeah.
at the moment. I have plenty of non-study Bibles. I got a few different translations and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the ESV, you know, I got the NIV. I got the Living Bible,
Is
which
that
isn't as popular, but I like it.
is that the NLT, the New Living Translation?
I don't know.
because I like that
I think
version.
those are different,
Are they? Yeah,
but
probably.
maybe that's the updated version.
Mm.
This is a pretty old book.
Yeah, it's probably not that then. I think the New Living Translation is like this century. But anyways, so we're not talking for another 30 minutes about nothing. The the first chapter in this second part is called "What Do You Mean Totally Depraved?" And he basically digs into depravity, if memory serves, which if that isn't obvious by the title. But
Well, that entire chapter is about an hour of him just bashing New Age thinking and talking. I really liked the beginning.
yeah,
He's saying how I liked when he said that the blind man can't tell the difference between a fine piece of art and the queen's head on a stake.
yeah, right,
And I was like, yeah, yeah, he can't. Those are two very different things.
yeah,
And he's just saying, and people that are not saved are blind to their sins.
yeah.
They don't know that they're sinning because they've not received the Spirit enough to be convicted.
Mm. Well, let me just read that whole paragraph because that is a good paragraph. He goes on to say,
Okay.
this is from J.C. Ryle's book. I don't know the exact book, forgive me, but the deaf man cannot distinguish between a penny whistle and a cathedral organ. The very animals whose smell is most offensive to us has no idea that they are offensive and are not offensive to one another. And man, fallen man, I believe, can have no just idea what a vile thing sin is in the sight of that God whose handiwork is absolutely perfect. That's a good one. That whole
Yeah.
quote is really good.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah. And it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they do.
Right.
Lord, forgive them,
Yeah,
for they
absolutely.
know not what they do. They have absolutely no idea.
I'm speaking from experience. I knew not what I was doing. Maybe some degree, but so the chapter kind of starts
Well,
out.
they don't know what
Go ahead.
they do in the sense of God because they
Right.
don't even believe in God.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but you really don't know how much you are sinning, and everything that you do is pretty much just uh, in a blanket of sin. Um, until
Yeah, it's
you
not
you
that
turn from
they
it.
sin. It's that they've never done anything but sin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you don't realize that until after the fact, right? Until after you convert or come
Yeah,
back, or you know.
and then your journey starts
Yeah, then you're hit with the weight of it.
of uh, of letting go. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and that too. Oh, for example, I used to love. I mean, I still love October.
Mm-hmm.
I love the season, but I mean, I used to make like a really big deal about it. I used to get really happy about it. And I would watch a horror movie every night in October.
Dang.
And I haven't watched. No, I think I've watched one with the boys, and it was terrible. We just made fun of it the whole time. But that's the way to do it. That's the way to watch bad spooky movies is together as a group and
Yeah.
just make fun of it. That actually makes it. That's what makes it fun. That's where the fun in horror movies are now. Is kind of doing a Mystery Science Theater 3000 at it,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just an open discussion about how bad this movie's going to be because none of them are really all that good.
No. Which one did you watch?
But the older ones are better. The new VHS, by the way, awful.
Mm.
Don't even watch it. There are some horror movies I would recommend. That's not one of them. That's the bottom of the barrel. It was amazingly bad. Like if I was watching it by myself, it would have been turned off so quickly. And I don't say that about many movies. Usually I'll stick through it, but that was bad.
Yeah.
I wish there were more Christian spooky movies because
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
Um, Now we never want to give Satan any sort of boost
Mm-hmm.
or act like he's more powerful at all, or definitely glorify him. And that's the problem with horror movies, is that they glorify evil for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to have some, Christian ones that, maybe the Christians in it are actual Christians and not like a Catholic priest again. They're always just Catholic priests.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a horror movie with Protestants in it? I think I've seen one. I can think of one, and that wasn't even a horror movie. That was more of an action film.
There was one with Mormons. That was
Oh, that's even worse.
yeah, that was a strange one. But I guess the whole premise was them knocking on doors and some guy taking them in and then locking him in a dungeon or something. It was a really strange movie.
My dog Scribbles has a growth on his face.
That's not good.
Yeah, it looks like he got stung by a bee, except it's been there. I thought it would go away. It's not going away. It's gotten rather big now, so we got to take him to the vet.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, have you?
Based on how fast it's growing, it's got to be like fluids, though. Like an abscess, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm going to take him to the vet.
Well, here's to hoping it's nothing serious.
Let's hope something not wrong with old Scribby boy. He is 12.
That's an old man, dude.
But that don't mean that we got to have that thing on your face. Looks like you got punched in the face, bud.
I feel that.
Looks like he's got a black eye, except it's not discolored at all. It's right under his eyeball.
Oh, that's
like
weird,
on his cheek.
Yeah.
So it's not affecting his vision at all.
Man, that's crazy.
But it is quite large at this point. Yeah.
Maybe he did get attacked by something.
He's always fighting. He's always getting into something. I was fighting with some people again. I meant to send you that, man.
Yeah.
Yesterday I posted that one did I ever show you that picture that was like the conversation between the Christian and the secular?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, I'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, secular person, I want to do X. Christian, you're free to do it. Secular person, but you think X is wrong. Christian, yes. Secular, because you want to control me. Christian, no, you're free to do whatever you wish. Secular, but you think X is wrong. Christian, yes, only because I want what's best for you. Secular person, but I want to do X. Christian, you're free to do it. Secular person, but I want you to say that X is good. Christian, I can't say that. Secular person, why are you such a hateful, intolerant bigot? And I posted that in this one thread, and I was like, this is what you all sound like to me. And then I had like 50 comments that I had to do apologetics towards, and it was fun for me.
Yeah. Man.
I just had to, they were all bashing Jesus and stuff, and I was just like, man, you guys don't know anything.
No.
And I'm totally into online apologetics. I am a defender of the faith. I'm a defender of Jesus, and I always will be.
Amen.
We need people like that. I think only 2 people liked what I commented about how it was a good thing what I did. And everyone else was just so angry.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny how many times I got insulted. And I was like, did you even read the meme? Like, you're proving the meme right.
Oh yeah, dude. Nah,
I have said nothing wrong here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I got just bashed so many times. They are so angry.
Oh yeah.
The moment that you mention sin, which they don't believe in.
Right.
To offend a God that they don't believe in.
Right, dude. Yeah, it's very.
And the reason why I'm bringing that together is because it was the vanishing conscience. Their conscience is vanished. It's destroyed by sin. I even told them at one point that that was the one that was like they were. I forget what they said, but I was like, you're mad at me for saying that you're dead in your sins. for, towards sin that you don't believe in,
Yeah.
to a
Right.
God you don't believe in, and so many people reacted to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and you gotta think about how they just laughed at Jesus too, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Right.
Except luckily they can't spit on me over the computer.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Right next to their
Oh,
wherever they
dude,
were
yeah, they're
standing.
spitting. The people I fight with online, they're spitting on their screen at me, hoping that it goes through.
Yeah. Well, they do resort to name calling, and I was guilty of that as well.
Almost immediately.
Immediately, dude.
And but there's a part of me that likes that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm meant to do this,
Yeah.
because I almost like offending them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's kind of like you got
there
them,
is a there
right?
is to a point that
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you do have to, but I'm not doing it in any offensive way at
Right.
all.
Right.
I just know that spreading Jesus offends them greatly.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I mean, in
just
a
great.
roundabout way, that kind of means that they were at least paying a little bit of attention to what you posted, right? Unless they're bots. But it riled them up enough to start name calling. But from what I've seen, specifically in Reddit, like if you go against the grain, the other side just it's immediately name calling and bashing. It's like this is
I haven't
why you
done
have the
Reddit
label, you know.
much. This is on all the stuff I do is on Facebook.
Mm, yeah,
I should make a Reddit. I need to make a Reddit because I know how big it is over there.
it's a cesspool,
But
dude.
I don't like platforms that allow pornography
Yeah,
and gore
right.
and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
Reddit does.
Yeah,
So I'm afraid if I get on there, I'll see some of that stuff. But I think it's easy to not if you just make a new account and follow the right pages and stuff. So
yeah,
I really should get on there maybe.
right. Yeah, I never came across it. Never have I, unless when I was back in the day looking for it.
Okay.
And it always
Yeah.
has an
Because
18 plus thing on it.
I
So
know it's there.
yeah, oh yeah,
I know it's there. Oh, maybe I can do something like that. Reddit's probably sophisticated enough where it hides things.
it does. Yeah, unless you're
I don't
explicitly
want to
looking for
see
wrong
it.
things.
I don't want to see it. I don't need that sin on me.
Right. Plus, it's just the temptation is there, man. You just put yourself in such a bad position when you even get close to that stuff. That's why I'm rarely on
Luck.
Facebook. I'm rarely on Instagram anymore.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna see nudity on Facebook or anything.
Au contraire,
But
you can, and I
I've
have.
never. I don't think I've ever seen
Oh yeah,
nudity on Facebook.
it's there. Yeah. I have a
I feel like it
friend.
would get removed quickly.
Well, I have a friend who always seems to find it for some reason, but a lot of it is this guy, and that's no slight to him. It's disguised as like breastfeeding women a lot of times. They do that,
Oh, yeah.
and sometimes medical stuff, I think. But why are you?
Why?
Yeah, why are you doing that?
I think I I think this is a great place for us to get to
What do you mean?
because
Oh,
it's a part of the
yeah, it is.
series
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Yeah.
They just want to throw sin into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is nice. What if we sinned while we do it too? That's that's what the world wants to do.
Yeah. Well, why else are you posting videos of you breastfeeding unless you're vying for attention? And that begs another question. What kind of attention are you vying for? Right? Like, it's not normal people who are into that kind of thing, right? You genuinely have to question someone whose tastes lie in that realm. Like, I would not leave them around my kids, for instance. You know what I mean? Because if that's your thing, watching breastfeeding babies and stuff,
Oh, right.
yeah. And I mean, why else would you post it as a mother? My wife never did that.
I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you would even post that in the first place.
I do, because it's a way to show off yourself.
Educational things, perhaps.
Well, a lot of them aren't educational because I've seen some of them before. Not that I was looking. That's not a contradiction to what I said earlier. It's just when you scroll far enough through Facebook, you start finding stuff that you don't want to find, and that's why I got rid of it.
Yeah, you doom scrolled too far.
Right, yeah, and that's what happens, right? So, and that's what I was kind of alluding to, my friend finding it. He just doom scrolls sometimes, and he's found it. Like, he had to get rid of it, too. It happens to him on YouTube as well. But fortunately, my algorithms are all like heavily steeped in like sermons and Christian based accounts and stuff like that, because I've designed it that way.
Yeah, if you see my shorts, I mean, and by that I mean like I mean like Facebook reels and shorts. I don't mean what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about people by their shorts, their social shorts.
Yeah, I mean,
so
even the
show me your
shorts
social shorts. How many? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, especially over here. They are big purveyors of short shorts over here.
Total depravity. We're born into it. However, I don't think that we consciously sin until we're like a little bit older.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
Which is, because we've talked about that before, and it's not to say that kids are sinless, but God is going to automatically forgive them.
I want to believe that. They don't know what they do. I mean, it's a whole part of the process, right?
Well, I think I mean, I want to say that that's a pretty wide belief, I would say.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Jesus never once talks about saving children. He says that we need to be like them, in fact.
Right.
He's like, look at these kids. Unless you're like one of them, you're goofing. Sorry, I don't mean to put silly words in Jesus' mouth, but that's just the way I am. I'm not, I'm just paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
You got to be like them, actually. You're like, oh yeah.
Which is kind of difficult to do.
They do bar mitzvahs at what, 12? And so I guess around 12 is when you are then responsible for your sin. I suppose.
Yeah.
That might be thinking too hard into it, but whatever. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
And once I was saved as a child, and I received the Spirit as a child, so I can't really speak as someone that really lived deep in sin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've seen it. I've felt it. It's not like I haven't lived in sin before.
Right.
But I always knew I was sinning. I never did it and just loved it, and it's my life,
Yeah. I mean, there's just at the end of the day, there's nothing at the end of, let's take promiscuity, for example. There's no love in that, and at the end of the day, you just feel kind of empty. I'm speaking for myself, obviously. Maybe some people don't feel that way, but just like one night stands and all that stuff, which I was never into. It's just it's such an empty feeling, like you're just stuck in a void. It's not.
I've tried them, and they were unsuccessful. Because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I think Jesus probably had a lot to do with that.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, and then you're like, no. And then they're really upset at you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. That is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but that happened. Every time I ever tried.
Yeah.
It just didn't work at all. Just didn't do anything. So I'm just like that. But if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't know, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's always a bad thing to say.
Yeah.
I wish humans could just learn on their own or not. No, I said that preemptively. Humans have to learn on their own, but it'd be nice if we didn't have to.
Yeah.
Be nice if we just, I got to learn things the hard way usually. I think everyone does.
it kind of
Sex is
makes,
probably the easiest one to fall into in our society.
yeah,
Maybe,
right.
probably not actually.
Yeah,
It's one that sells,
right.
but every sin is so big.
Mm-hmm.
Antichrist is the spirit of Antichrist is huge in
Mm-hmm.
America
Yeah,
in particular. People think they're their own gods.
right.
It's just they say a lot of crazy
Yeah.
things.
Well,
Uh,
to your point about having to experience it the hard way, I think if we didn't, it'd kind of take away from the power that is His grace and forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it, it would quickly diminish how much His grace actually means and how much His forgiveness actually means. Because if you're just, I don't know, I definitely feel the weight of my anger outbursts and gossiping stuff. Like it sits really heavy with me. But before, I never had that. I didn't care. But now that I know that what kind of change that is on Instagram, and take this for what it's worth, right? This guy said, you know, if you find yourself in these situations, just think to yourself, would you say these words in front of Jesus Christ, or would you do these things in front of Jesus? You know what I mean? Now, we're
I
never
want to
going to
say
be
I wouldn't
perfect.
say hardly anything in front of
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Probably
Like
nothing.
I'm
Right.
just going to sit here and unless he speaks to me,
Yeah. I might say sorry a lot.
just want to. I already do that
Mm-hmm.
every day. I'm like, oh, you know what? The thing I probably say the most
Mm-hmm.
is Jesus, please be with me.
Yeah.
That's something I say multiple times a day, and I always make fun of myself for saying please because you don't hear please and prayers in the
Right.
in the Bible,
Right.
but I do it
Oh
anyway.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
oh Jesus, please be with me,
Right. Yeah,
as if it
dude.
does anything extra, maybe, but it's just what comes out.
Now, you'll have to forgive me because I forget where this verse is. I think it's John 7 maybe. I've just been going through it through the last couple of weeks, and it's the verses that speak to uh, those who are heavy burdened. Take on my paraphrasing because I don't know the exact quote, but take on my yoke because it's light and my burden is light. Dude, I
Hmm.
I just
Those who are
about had
heavy laden, come to me, and you'll have rest.
yes, dude, I just about had a meltdown that day. I was like, man, if there's any verse I ever needed to read right then, it was that one. It was
You're
crazy, dude.
dealing with a little bit of burnout, are you?
Not spiritual, physical, mental. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a lot of
yeah.
stuff all at once. You know what I mean? And it's
You need to pray.
trivial stuff. I do.
We can pray about that. Well, I mean, we need to get. Dang it, we need more people
Mm-hmm.
in the Discord. We need
Mm-hmm.
a community. We can all pray for each other.
Yeah.
We need more people. We need to be some more prayer warriors.
And
I
reading.
need to
Good.
pray a little bit more. I want to say
Yeah.
after this, we should probably do a session or two on prayer.
Yeah. I would
And
be down for that.
I would
100%.
like to teach the prayers that I know
Mm-hmm.
and then, learn a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, not necessarily word per word. I'm not Catholic over here,
Mm-hmm.
but just like outlines.
Yeah.
It's like you do this,
Uh-huh.
then that.
Uh-huh.
And there's definitely outlines that seem to work a little bit. I mean, Jesus gave us the ultimate outline
Right. Exactly.
with the Lord's Prayer, which I try to do every day.
Well, that falls into the acts thing, right? Uh, what is it? Admiration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. If you follow
I've
that,
never
right?
I've never heard that. I've
Yeah,
never heard that.
yeah. I've heard it
I
a
like
lot
it.
recently. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, our Father, hallowed be thy name is the admiration. Um, forgive us our trespasses is. They say
Okay.
forgive us our debts. I don't like that. I like the older school, the trespasses version. And then
I
there's
usually just say sins. I mean,
yeah, you
I've
could,
done
right?
it differently throughout the years,
Right.
but now I just say sins.
Yeah.
I'm like, Lord, forgive me my sins as I forgive others of their sins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, none at all. And then, lead us. I don't know where Thanksgiving falls into that, but maybe lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil, I guess, because he does, right?
Oh.
So that would be the Thanksgiving. But it doesn't adhere to that structure completely, but I think that's where it comes from. At least the admiration, confession, and Thanksgiving part of it. The supplication comes after. But I typically do the Lord's Prayer and then do the Acts kind of composition.
It is cool that admiration's first, because
Yeah.
that's what we do in church too. You worship first. Yeah. I love worshiping. Honestly, I think the ultimate thing that I can do to worship if I'm not doing the music myself is to just kneel.
Yeah.
I love to kneel at the presence because he's king, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Like, oh yes, I bow before my king.
Yeah, dude.
He can tell me to do any, you just sit there and like, just give me a command. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready to go. I'm Peter. I got my swords out,
Stop, dude. I'm getting
Jesus like,
goosebumps.
no.
You better knock it off.
I'm going to cut the ear. And Jesus like, that's bad. I'm like, sorry. I got too into it. He's like, that's fine. I know.
Yeah.
God's like, yeah, but that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun in a way. He's it's like when one of the puppies goes and plays a little too hard. You're like, he's a son of thunder.
Yeah. I love that, dude.
Because me and you got a little umph to us.
Mm-hmm. I like to think so. Yeah.
A little bit of muscle, a little bit of metal.
Yeah.
We listen to a lot of Christian metal.
Yeah. Which reminds me.
I was introducing Kyla to Christian metal earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, she said that I should make Christian music that isn't boring. I was like, I got some Christian music for you that's not boring.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's not all boring. I love traditional hymns. Like, I love being in a church with just an organ and a choir. Maybe not even a choir, right? Maybe it's just everybody singing together. That is my idea.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a church with a choir. Wait, yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But only one.
Yeah,
I've been to one, and it was a Pentecostal church.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that was pretty cool.
Well, I've mentioned this before.
But otherwise, it's just everyone. It's just the whole congregation singing to the words on the screen.
Right. Yeah.
That's always nice.
Yeah, I mean,
it helps me if I know the song, because otherwise I feel like I'm not worshiping as much as I'm just reading a screen.
Right. No, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to worship if I'm just reading a screen. That's why, as you know, maybe controversial, I don't know, I listen to a lot of EDM. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not EDM, I listen to a lot of IDM. No one's going to know the difference that's listening. I listen to a lot of electronic music with no words.
Yeah.
And I can make that worship as much as I want to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't think these people made the music in the name of Satan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't
music. Sound evil, and it doesn't have a message. It doesn't have a message at all.
Right.
You can give it a message. You can give it whatever message you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always thought was the magical thing about electronic music that doesn't have words and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that, this can literally mean whatever you want it to.
Well,
and I've always taken advantage of that. Sometimes I would just sing, you just sing, you make up your own words. You ever done that?
Yeah, of course.
I do that. Yeah, I do that pretty often.
Mm-hmm. Especially
these days. More now than I used to.
Yeah.
It's fun. Sometimes I write some good lines too. I'm like, ooh, that's a banger.
Down. Yeah, you better write that down.
I've written some down.
Yeah.
Not a lot, some.
Dude, well, we're
getting there.
Let me dust off the guitar again, and maybe we can write something. Just give me like 10 years to get good, and then we'll get into it.
You can just play bass. That's fine.
I don't like bass, dude. Ugh.
We don't got the time. Well, I like bass.
You do?
Bass. I love playing bass in a band setting.
Really?
I think it's because my guitar playing, since I've played guitar by myself in my room, for 21 years, I'm a weird guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of weird things.
Mm-hmm.
So my guitar usually isn't going to fit in with people,
Yeah.
but bass I can fit in just fine.
Yeah.
You know, so I love playing bass in band settings, unless it's like music that I've written with my guitar that's going to be like kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
we probably should get through some of this chapter. I know it all kind of
Well, we've
relates in
talked a lot
roundabout
about.
ways.
Well,
Yeah.
it's about total depravity.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you can read more.
Yeah.
Continue on.
So it starts off, no concept is more important to the gurus of modern psychology than self-esteem. According to the self-esteem credo, there are no bad people, only people who think badly of themselves. For years, experts, psychologists, and a growing number of Christian leaders have championed self-esteem as a panacea, I think I'm saying that right, for all sorts of human miseries. According to the purveyors of the doctrine, if people feel good about themselves, they will behave better, have fewer emotional problems, and achieve more. People with high self-esteem, we are told, are less likely to commit crimes, act immorally, fail academically, or have problems in their relationships with others. And so where he goes on from that is to say that's not true at all. There's like little correlation. I'm grossly paraphrasing, but let's see. Statistics show Americans are feeling better about themselves than ever in a survey conducted in 1940. 11% of women and 20% of men agreed with the statement, I am an important person. In the 90s, those figures jumped to 66% of women and 62% of men.
What were they? What were the original numbers? 11?
11 for women and 20 for men.
Man, it jumped up to almost 70.
Yeah. Well, furthermore,
And now it's like it would be like 100%.
Oh yeah, yeah, easily, maybe more. He goes on to say 90%, 90% of the people surveyed in a recent Gallup poll. Keep in mind, this is like early 90s. In a Gallup poll, say their own self-esteem is robust and healthy. I have never said that, so clearly I was not a part of that.
When I heard that, I was like, this is also right before like the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
The people saying this, these are people that haven't experienced the internet.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was interesting.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
Wouldn't mind making my own surveys.
Yeah. Well, so he goes into the church and the self-esteem cult, right? I didn't take a whole lot of notes in the very beginning. We can just kind of paraphrase probably. So he does have a quote, the most persuasive proponents of self-esteem religion have always included clergymen. I think he's talking about the prosperity churches and stuff like that in this one. Dude, maybe I didn't take any notes. Anyways.
And
so
no notes were taken.
Yeah. So he just goes on to say that this teaching is in error, right? He's convinced that the church must need to be warned of the dangers of it, and that comes from Titus 1:9, paraphrasing, obviously. Then there's another one, playing Planet Side 2, eh? The tendency of modern thought is to reject dogmas, creeds, and every kind of bounds in religion. It is thought grand and wise to condemn no opinion whatsoever and to pronounce all earnest and clever teachers to be trustworthy, however heterogeneous and mutually destructive their opinions may be. Everything forsooth is true and nothing is false.
I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't heard someone say that in forever.
Yeah, like 100 years maybe. Everybody is right and nobody is wrong. Everybody is likely to be saved and nobody is to be lost. That's very dangerous, heretical teaching, dude. But that's like a lot of the churches today where they have like the LGBTQ themed churches, right? Like everything's accepted. Here we twist scripture to mean what we want to mean. You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, universal churches?
Yeah, is that what they are?
They just they'll accept and pick anything.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Hindus in that way. They're like Christian Hindus.
Mm.
Yeah, we like Jesus, but I mean, we like anything that makes you feel good about yourself, even if it's sin, especially if it's sin.
Yeah. Well, apparently they miss the part where people who preach or are heads of the faith are going to be judged far more harshly. So I guess they just skipped over that part of the Bible.
Oh, I want to say they missed a good chunk of almost all of it.
Yeah.
It's possible they've never even read it, and
Yeah.
that they just go off what they've heard before. I don't know.
Dude, that's a dangerous one
I
because
wish I knew. I wish I knew what was going on in their heads.
it can't be
Which I knew what
anything
was going on in a
biblical.
lot of people's heads.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's just so
What are
much
you thinking
evidence.
exactly?
Yeah. Even throughout Scripture, there's so much evidence that what they're doing is wrong. So have they even really read the Bible? I mean, truly.
I'm making myself upset over here just thinking about things, you know.
I know. Oh,
Like I
no, I know.
remember my friend just let's say like a month ago, she posted her youngest boy
Mhm.
looking like he's like praying a lot, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
And she's like, I don't know how he learned this, you know, and someone was like, you should tell him about Jesus, and just everyone was so mad about that comment.
Why?
Someone's just like, no, you know,
Yeah.
no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and I got pretty mad. You know,
Yeah.
that provoked me, should I say. And I'm like, tell me one thing Jesus did or said that you think is so bad,
Yeah. Right.
you know? And they're like, well, it's not what Jesus did, but it's what the people have done. Oh, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So your issue is not with Jesus.
Yeah.
And so you're going to fight against Jesus
Mm-hmm.
because of what some people have done?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this such a thing?
Nothing provokes me like
Why
that.
is this such a thing? It triggers me.
Yeah. It takes me from 0 to upset because I was guilty of it in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, can you not? One quote I saw that I'm going to butcher as well. It said, if a song was played badly, would you blame the person who wrote the song or the person who played it badly? You know what I mean? And how much
I've
simpler
never
could you
heard
make that?
that.
Yeah. I
I
was
never
like,
heard it. That's so good. That's
it's
so
great.
good.
Yeah, because imagine that. Imagine how goofy that is.
Hey, some
That
of us have standards.
right. Just imagine how goofy that is, and now apply it to exactly what they said. It's all goofy. Like you sound like a goof. What are you even
Yes.
saying here?
Oh, so you just admitted that the words of Jesus are pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're saying not to teach them that because of some guy you met one time?
And they say that in the same breath, which is the most wild thing in the world to me.
Someone that probably never even read their Bible?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually
Who
ran into that in one of my apologetics things I was trying to do at work. I was like, "Have you read the Bible?" And he was like, "Well, I tried to,
Mhm.
but it was just kind of boring." I was like, yeah. So how do you have
No, it isn't.
how do you have such an opinion on something you've never read?" He was like,
It's literally not a boring book.
no, it's not at all." And boy, I'm in 2 Samuel right now. David, dude, David, and I heard maybe this is corrected later on, but David had a bunch of wives, and people point to that as well. And I think at one point the Lord even says, I've given you these wives to some degree. He says that, I think, and like it wasn't enough. I think that's as it applies to
A
the
lot of them
Bathsheba.
are a lot of them are like politics wives, you know,
Ah,
political
interesting,
marriages and stuff like that.
interesting,
So some of them did directly help Israel, you know.
interesting.
Um, but yeah, that is there are some things that you're like, well, if I was writing the Bible, I probably would have left that out.
Yeah, yeah, and I
But
mean,
that just always helps you be like, yeah, this is real.
yeah, but when in the New Testament, Jesus says marriage is between a man and a woman, right? Not a man in 3 or 4 or 5 women. So I guess that's a
Yeah.
correction, right? Or maybe more specifically, clarification. But
Yes. Yes, I want to say that that's more so what it is.
yeah. Anyways, the sanctification of human pride, and man, I'm so guilty of pride just all the time. It's like 90% of the reason I get into fights that I get into is because I feel my pride is injured. But Robert Schuller says the will to self-love is the deepest of all human desires, Far from being a sin, he says, people's lust for self-love is a good thing that should be encouraged, fostered, and fed. He labels the church's historic aversion to pride neurotic, and he contends that people should be taught not to fear human pride. The cross sanctifies the ego trip, he has written. Amplifying that statement on a televised talk show, he declared, Jesus had an ego. He said, I, if I be lifted up, will draw all men unto me. Wow, what an ego trip he was on, in italics. That's crazy. That's a
He's
crazy
God.
thing to say. Yeah. And I will admit that early on, I wrestled with that. I was like, man, this all kind of sounds like arrogance. And the way Paul wrote his letters, I'm like, dude, this guy is just full of arrogance. But I have since, what's the word? Corrected my views.
Once you
was
receive
very
the
wrong.
Spirit,
Yeah.
you won't understand half of it unless you got the Spirit in the
Right.
first place.
Right. And he is God. And you have to remember that. Like, that's the reason he's saying these things. It's not like me saying it to you. It's very much the creator of the universe saying this to people he created, right? And this dude even goes on to say that sin is psychological self-abuse. Sin in any act or thought that robs myself or another human being of his or her self-esteem. And hell is simply the loss of pride that follows such an act. Dude, I've said this before, but being a Christian has made life a lot harder for me. But
yeah, that's literally what it's talking about.
Right, but infinitely more rewarding. Like the purpose that comes with it, and I now feel guilty for things that I should have always felt guilty for. Like my conscience is more active. Hopefully more so in a good way than a bad way.
You don't say.
Yeah. Fitting, isn't it?
What this book's about.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't trade that in for the world, because if I think back on my life, it was pretty, like the time that I wasn't adhering to the faith, it was kind of it was just empty, right? I didn't really have a purpose. I was kind of just floating through life. But I mean,
yeah, like I said, I used to wake up and just be like, okay, how can I get this day over with?
Yeah, exactly. I feel that. I still feel that to varying degrees, but I have to remind myself that, maybe don't think that way.
Maybe.
But, let me see here. Yeah. So, he goes on to talk about self-esteem theology, him being MacArthur. A profoundly deep sense of worthiness is no virtue, it is unbelief. Moreover, according to this doctrine, the most serious sin is the one that causes me to say I am unworthy. I may have no claim to divine sonship if you examine me at my worst. For once a person believes he is an unworthy sinner, it is doubtful that he can honestly accept the saving grace God offers in Jesus Christ. Oh, so that was Dr. Schuller, again, the guy who said that lust for self-love is a good thing. And then he even suggests that too many prayers of confession of sin and repentance have been destructive to the emotional health of Christians by feeding their sense of non-worth.
Really doesn't like that guilt of sin, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's really railing against it, isn't
he? Yeah. Which you can get like that, at like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm guessing he just never made it past that.
Yeah, right. Well, MacArthur goes into, he's like, those who take the Bible at face value are likely to surmise differently. David prayed, the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise, which is Psalms 51:17. And then in the first of Jesus's Beatitudes, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:3, sorry. James wrote, cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be miserable and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves in the presence of the Lord, and he will exalt you. And then it goes on, more scripture that backs that up.
It's ego death.
Yeah. And the stuff this guy says is kind of comical, because he was in a radio interview recent to when the book was written. He said how he reconciles his teaching with scriptures like those. And then he says, just because it's in the Bible doesn't mean you should preach it. What? Okay, it's just a goofy thing to say. What do you?
That is a goofy thing to say. Who is? I don't even know who this guy is
I don't
that
know.
he's talking about. So.
I think he's one of the purveyors of that. I don't know that he's atheist. If memory serves, he's like a teacher of faith, but it's all revolving around self-love and stuff like that. He's like, I'm interested in attracting people, not driving them far away. There are times when, if we are wise, there's language we will not use. Yeah, he says using the gospel message is not only faulty,
It's
but potentially
that
dangerous.
guy's doctrine that's made people not or see us as jokes now.
Yeah.
It's all sympathy and no love.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings, so
yeah,
you can have sex with all those guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, to that
That's
point.
totally fine, because if I tell you not to, you'll get mad at me.
Yeah. Well, he goes on to say the basic defect of contemporary Christianity is a failure to proclaim the gospel in a way that can satisfy every person's deepest need, one's spiritual hunger for glory. So he does teach the Bible, just the Satanist version, apparently. I don't know where all of that comes from. But MacArthur goes on to talk about what about God's glory, right? So not focusing on glory for ourselves, but the glory of God. So it needs to be God-centered, not man-centered, right? I think we all know that. And he says that because it's God-centered, Schuller says this is part of the reason the church is in the predicament it is today. In his estimation, Reformation theology failed to make clear the core of sin is a lack of self-esteem. I don't know where this guy got this through the readings, but he seems to be very opinionated for one so uneducated. And that's relevant to most of the people you argue with on Facebook, I think.
Almost certainly.
It's wild that you can. That's why I stopped commenting on politics, because I didn't know enough. And now I see people just, like, especially on my Facebook, dude, I have family members.
That's also why I don't talk about politics, because I don't know enough, but I do know enough to do apologetics.
Yeah, right. I'm almost there, I think. But I have people on my Facebook who just shoot off at the mouth. They're just, either they parrot what someone says, or it's just something so misguided. You know, you could dumb down most of what this person says to Orange Man bad, right? When you could probably show no way outside of, like, maybe prices, right, getting higher. But I saw a video where someone asked how Trump being in office, this is not political, I'm not taking a political stance, but they said, how has Trump effectively or affected your life in a way that's tangible, right? And they're like, oh, well, not really anything physically or anything like that, but it's more just like I have to think about it a lot.
It's just the way I feel.
Right. And you could dumb down their entire argument to that, right? Like, I let myself get mad about stuff that I don't need to be mad about. And it's just, and the craziest part is this person doesn't even realize it. They just keep talking.
I was called MAGA yesterday.
Yeah.
And I've never been called MAGA before.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not MAGA at all.
Oh, yeah. Did I get called that all the time?
I'm about as Christians, we should be about as financially left as you could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about your guys' Bible, but my Bible, my God, Jesus, said, when that guy was like, look at all that I do. And Jesus was like, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Here's one last thing you got to do. Go sell everything you have.
Yeah.
And follow me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, though.
Yeah. That's also putting,
and then he's like, well, that's why it's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle.
Yep.
Which is the little door.
Yeah.
In the gate to the city. So for how the camel has to get through there is to shed everything and then get on its knees.
Yeah.
And that's how rich people get into heaven. is by shedding their riches and bowing humbly to God.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that the Republicans are the ones that side with Christians? This is all human doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
all nonsense. This whole Democrat Republican thing is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Why is it that the Republicans are like seen as Christians when they're like the greedy ones? Like that's
Yeah.
like the worst thing you can be. It's like, well, then I mean, they both have sins,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just that's a conviction I have. I get so angry at the people that are Christian, but they just show off all their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Look at all the stuff I got. That's how I talked about. I lost that one friend because she always would show off like the new vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like car salesmen.
Yeah.
And I would always react to them because it's just ridiculous to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're supposed to be a Christian. All you do is sell these cars and go on vacations.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like Jesus would have some things to say to you.
Yeah.
All right. So
Right.
so I just find it funny. I never even called her out on it. I would just react. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually she got so mad about it that I did have to say some things. And when I did, she just said that I was jealous.
Yeah.
And man, that made me angry too.
Yeah.
But at that point, she sent that and blocked me, so I couldn't even say anything. But it's like, what do you possibly think I'm jealous of? What is it? You know what I mean?
Well,
That angered me the most. It's like the worst thing she could have said.
yeah. What are you jealous of? Not having to compensate on social media, for a life that's probably not as rewarding as you're making it
What am
out to
I
be.
jealous of? I'm not jealous of anything. I'm
Mhm.
angry at you being a bad Christian
Yeah.
when you're one of my only Christian friends.
Yeah.
That's what I'm angry about.
Right.
Not jealous at anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous of the apostles that hung out with Jesus.
Yeah, I know. So that makes two of us.
That's who I'm jealous of.
Yeah.
Certainly not jealous of you and your crappy vacations to the beach. Think I care about the beach?
Right.
Been to the beach so many times. I don't care about the beach. I like the forest.
Yeah.
And you know what? I live by the forest. That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't gotta go anywhere. And I don't gotta sell a stupid car to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always so mad at how can you be a Christian and just have so much money?
Yeah.
It is just so non-biblical. Have you read anything? Have you read the Gospels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're supposed to have nothing. Look what the prophets wore. They had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They wore skins of animals.
Right.
That's all they had.
Yeah. Yeah, is there anything wrong with having money if you didn't sacrifice morals or time that could have been spent with God? I mean, I guess, right? I don't know that he wants us
I'm
to
not
be poor all
saying
the
that
time.
everyone with money is just the worst person.
Right, right.
But if you're boasting about
okay.
it,
Yeah.
showing it off
Yeah.
all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and clearly spending it on yourself and not others.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about in the Bible. It's not saying just give it away to anybody. Give it away to people that don't have it.
Yeah. That's a good point. One I missed.
It is 100. It's basic. So real Christians are basically supposed to be socialists together.
Yeah.
That spread everything out between each other. Sorry to say, you MAGA Republican, any Republican really, hate to burst your bubble that if you think you're a Republican Christian that loves capitalism so much, Jesus doesn't like capitalism. Nothing that Jesus said touches on capitalism at all. He says, all right, that's cool. Now go sell it all.
Yeah.
Give it to the poor and follow me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he ever said. He never said anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you were saying.
Show me where he says to get rich and hog it all and that's a good thing. I missed that part. Elon Musk,
He donates a
you
lot, I
know,
think. He offered to pay the military
yeah,
salary.
really.
Yeah. Which is a lot of
Now,
money.
see, I did say that because I am calling him out, particularly because I feel like God's calling to him a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I believe that as well.
And it would be the coolest thing in the world if
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk got saved and he gave away like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
billions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow. That would be an act of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. No, it'd be
It'd be a
great.
true move of Jesus.
Yeah.
That'd be magical.
Mm-hmm.
I would pray, that's, the angels would
Mm-hmm.
sing in heaven.
Yeah.
And so would we.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Give me $2,000. That's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all these millionaires. I could use $2,000. All right. That tells you how poor I live,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we could all use $2,000, I think. Most normal people. But
Yeah, I got some car problems. Winter's coming up.
sure is.
There's, I'm living on the struggle bus big time.
I feel that. I really do.
Lord Jesus. But Jesus knows what I need.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite verses, really,
Yeah.
when Jesus is like, you worry about these things like clothing and food. God knows you need those things.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's like God already knows about this. All right. And so I try not to. That's why I have anxiety about apparently everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I don't know what my issues are, but you were talking about how you've been angry a lot lately,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You're going
Just
through
all
it.
the time, really.
And I've been pretty angry too.
Yeah.
Or should I say easily annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
To
That's
the
probably.
point that I've been like yelling at my phone lately,
Yeah.
I'll be like delivering and my Google Maps just does all this. I'm like, I'll just start yelling at the phone. What do you mean? You know? And I'll just sit there and be like, this is so stupid that I'm doing this,
Yeah.
because I'm usually not like that.
Right.
Just been a rough couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like I put in another address and you hit go, and it's like now it acts like you're walking. I'm like,
Yeah.
when did I ever say I was walking? I'll just yell at the phone,
Yeah.
and it's just yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
That's my versions of outbursts these days. Is
Yeah.
just such stupid things,
well, it's the
like laughably bad, laughably stupid things.
yeah. It's little minor inconveniences that just set me off recently. And I don't know why or where that comes from, but it would be great if that disappeared. And I've prayed for that so hard.
It would.
I don't know why I am this way. I don't like being this way, but here we are. My cross to bear, I guess. Our cross to bear, maybe.
Here we are, indeed. I'm doing a lot of medication changes, is why that's happening. So I'm just more irritable,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll be better at the end of it because I'm getting off some things that I feel the Spirit wants me to get off of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like eventually God wants me to not take anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't take many medications anymore. I take like two or three.
Mm-hmm.
For behavioral stuff, I only take two.
That's
And
good.
then my other two are for health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I take four.
No,
But two are things that I would say are not bad.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones might be.
Yeah.
Did Jesus design us to take an SSRI? I don't know.
Right.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's probably sorcery,
Mm-hmm.
some sort of witchcraft.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really don't know. That's a hard. That would be something that I don't think even matters. We're just going to skip it. Back to the book.
Yeah. So, depravity. Uh, so he just says that it's evil has contaminated everything, every aspect of our humanity,
Yes.
right? The heart, the mind,
Yeah.
personality, emotions.
Anything that's not directly from God
Yeah.
has been tainted by evil and
Right.
humanity.
Yeah. Um,
Everything.
so, he talks about
Even a lot of churches.
right. He talks a lot about unredeemed sinners and how they're incapable of truly loving God, the God that reveals himself in the scriptures, right? They're just completely
Yeah.
incapable of obedience from the heart with righteous motives, and they are incapable of understanding truth, genuine faith, and pleasing God or truly seeking him. That comes from Hebrews 11, it looks like, the majority, if not all of it. But he says total depravity means sinners have no ability to do spiritual good or work for their own salvation from sin. So they're, completely disinclined to love righteousness and are dead to sin, which he says a lot in this book, actually.
That's what I called some people yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of true, right? But then he goes on.
100% true. They are blind to everything because they are dead in their
Yeah.
sins. They don't know any different. They're
Right.
like little kids.
Yeah.
At least they're spiritually little kids. They know nothing at all.
Mm. So one thing that he points out is something people are, because he talks about Adam and the original sin, right, and how sin was let into the world. So, and this is actually something my wife asked me, and I couldn't answer it. So he says we might be tempted to think, if I'm sinful by birth and never had a morally neutral nature, how can I be held responsible for being a sinner? And my wife kind of asked something in the same vein. She was like, well, I didn't do that stuff, so why am I responsible for it? I was like, I can't answer that, actually. I don't
You're
know
not.
how to
You're
answer that.
responsible for your own sin, actually.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily responsible for their sin.
Mm,
You're responsible for your own sin. But
right.
their sin is the reason why we live in sin.
Yeah. Well, that's what she said, right? She's like, I didn't eat from that tree. It wasn't my fault, so why am I held accountable for what they did, kind of thing. Which is go against the commands of God.
Sure, everyone can have that thought. I
Yeah.
suppose if you look at it that way,
Yeah. But
which I don't think is a great way to look at it.
probably not, but it is a fair question nonetheless, I think. And how do you answer something like that? You know what I mean? Like I don't know of a good answer to that. Like, yeah, it wasn't our
I would
fault,
just say that you're responsible for your own sin.
but
That's all there is to it.
we weren't responsible for how sin entered the world.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I understand. I
Yeah.
understand that question, and I understand how you get there. I do. But yeah, I guess
I guess I just don't know where they're getting at. Like, so ideally, what happened to you?
well, it's
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah,
should we just live in paradise still? Okay, well, paradise is still there. We'll get there.
yeah. Well, it's just why do I have to
Earth is like I don't know. So you can learn.
be a Christian, right? Why is it if why did he even let all of that stuff happen? You know what I mean? Free will, but I can't explain that in Japanese. But regardless, I thought that was actually a thoughtful question that I couldn't answer. So I didn't know if you had some answer to that or some way of describing it.
Well, let me think of let me think about it. Because I don't really know. And if someone would ask me that right now,
Yeah.
it's something that I haven't really dealt with myself.
Mm-hmm. But that's got to be a common question,
But
right? Like a
but the
stump.
first thing that I keep getting to is that you don't need to ask forgiveness for their sin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking forgiveness for Adam and Eve. Jesus never tells you to ask forgiveness for what they did.
Yeah. But they're the reason we're here.
Um, on Earth,
No, the
yeah,
sin.
but Earth is pretty nice though.
No, no,
Pretty
no.
chill here.
I mean, they're the reason we're in this level of depravity that we're in now. Because sin entered the world at that time.
People sin on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Were you just going to point to them and say that they did it all? I think it's kind of victim blaming.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really playing the victim, which is what a lot of people do these days.
Yeah.
And that gets you nowhere. It's like, well, why would I do that? I didn't do that. They did that. I'm the victim,
Yeah.
so I don't got to do anything.
Well, I
Like, oh,
suppose
okay.
it ties into the why would he let it happen? He being God, right?
Oh, why did he? Probably because he wanted people to choose him, I suppose.
Yes. And I believe that to be the case too. Like, he doesn't want us to love him because he says love him. He wants us to love him of our own free will, right? So he gave us free will. And here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
We made a mess of that collectively. See, look at that. We got to an answer. Now I just have to figure out how to say that in Japanese. You know what I mean?
There is no answer to this that sinners are going to like.
Exactly. That's a fair point.
Unless there's not, because it's all going to glorify God. Like, why are we going through this? To glorify God.
Yeah. Right.
What's all that for? To glorify God.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the victim and my life sucks.
Yeah.
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 Most people's life sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody. Whoever you think doesn't have a life that sucks, their life probably sucks more than you think it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just read a passage about that in the Bible.
They're pretending for the most part.
Yeah. Or I read something about that. Maybe he even says it in this book that we suffer to glorify God because he takes that all away, that kind of thing, like along those lines of thinking, right? Like, he shows us what he can do for us, and that glorifies him. So that's why we're allowed to suffer, because it shows how great he is, because he takes it, right?
Yeah. People have no idea the path that you can take.
Yeah.
They don't. It's like it's literally a hidden passageway in life that is so out in the open, yet so hidden.
Right.
You won't know until you try it.
Right.
It's like, that's like the most thing that you could tell someone. It's like, hey, how about you just look up what sin is, realize that you are a sinner, and try not to do it.
Yeah.
Try not sinning.
Right.
See how it feels. See how it feels after a couple of days of not sinning. Now people are going to say, like, oh, but what do you mean you're sinless? No, but you can go a couple days without sinning.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot different than going your whole life,
right,
like Jesus. You're going a day, going 3 days without sin isn't comparing yourself to Jesus. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like, just go 3 days without sinning, see what happens.
And
you're going to feel a certain way.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, though.
Really?
Yeah, how, like, you don't realize it's sin until you try to turn away from it, right? And dude, there is power in that, because when you turn your back on sinful ways, life gets harder. There's no way that's not, and I'm just grasping for words here, dude. I don't, whatever, but
you definitely get lost.
Right.
You're like, I don't know what to do. Usually I would sin.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
And then that's why people say, like, heaven's boring.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's always I'm like, you have no idea.
Right.
Think of, are you bored here?
Right.
Some people are,
I
guess.
Yeah.
It's like, man, there'd be nothing boring in heaven.
Well, man, let me try to tie in that thought, because it sounds disjointed. But when you turn your back from sin, it's like an assault, essentially, right? It's almost as if something doesn't want you to turn your back on that sin, so it gets worse, right? So what? That just happens because of evolution. Evolution, you know what I mean?
Right.
We evolved.
This is an evolutionary thing,
right?
Yeah. Hilarious. That is a funny way to say it.
Yeah.
That must have happened because of evolution,
right?
Because that's what they always say.
Where does that come from?
Everything's comes from the spirit,
right?
They don't think exists.
Yeah. If that's not a testament to the existence of a divine creator, I don't know what is. That makes sense to me. I mean, you could probably shoot holes in that theory, but I've lived it. Like, I've experienced it. I've turned my back on how I used to be, and it's difficult, dude. And it got worse before it got better. It got way worse before it got better. To the point
It's
where you
difficult if you're not in God's glory.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to the point that what?
To the point where I questioned if Christianity was worth it. Like, is it worth feeling this way? You know what I mean? Like, this is
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Yeah.
All of it is hard. It's not
Isn't
fun
it?
sometimes. Yeah. No, it's not fun a lot of times, actually.
It'll really start making you hate yourself, which is why this person was bashing it so much in this book.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
like, well, all sin does is make you feel bad about yourself.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, huh? And why is that?
Right.
Why would that happen? Why does that happen?
Good question.
Unless it's real.
Evolution, probably.
Oh yeah, evolutionary. All of our spirits on the inside feels exactly the way this book says that we would.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's not a red flag.
And I'm not.
Like that's a lot of beating around the bush.
Right.
That's a lot of faith to believe that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just what's supposed to be. I don't know.
It's crazy.
They think it's just by chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens on accident.
Mm-hmm. That's what people say about us, that we're the end of an accident. Whatever that means, I guess.
I had so speaking of that remind me of, childbirth, because, accidents. And I had someone tell me that all abortion or all anti-abortion stances are rooted in Christianity. And I'm just like, you're saying that no one of any religion, any other religion, is against abortion? And they're like, no, that's not what I said. I'm like, that is what you said. That's 100% what you said. You said that all anti-abortion, thinking derives from Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you know what I mean? Like, the logic of these people, they don't have logic.
Mm-hmm.
They're so mad about what you're saying that they don't even have logic anymore.
I don't know, man. There's obviously opposing forces in this world that we can't see, and it's good and evil
forces.
Yeah. And
fight against principalities and powers.
Amen. I don't.
We fight not against the flesh.
It's just
fight against spirits, which is why, to circle back to my point, it'd be cool to make more spiritual / horror based, Christian movies.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the movie A Dark Song?
I don't think so.
I'm just going to give away the movie because it's nice. So if anyone wants to watch the movie, turn off now, I guess. But it's a pretty boring movie in a way. It's like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long, I think.
Yeah.
And it's all about this woman going through a ritual, which is a real ritual that people think, like, that people used to do. They might still do it now, but this is high magic.
Yeah.
This is so high magic is like a lot. Robes and to cast these things takes months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they lock themselves in this house, put a big salt circle around, and they can't leave until she's done with it. And
wow,
she's got to purify herself for months. And then at the end of it, you summon your guardian angel, and you can ask your guardian angel for any one gift. And that's a real thing that people used to do and try and do, and used to believe. I'm not saying that it ever worked,
right?
But I'm saying that that is based on a real ritual that is actually written about. And the movie is about how her son was killed by occultists, and she wants revenge. So she wants to find out who did it, and she wants to kill them, and that's her motivation to do this.
Oh wow!
And then at the end of the movie, actually, like, a lot of demons start manifesting throughout this whole thing to try to stop her from succeeding.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's when the movie really is like, wow, this is starting to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
actually a really dark movie.
Yeah.
It's even called A Dark Song, but and there's even a scene where she's sitting there and the glory of God comes into the room.
Mm.
Like all this gold dust sparkles starts, they're everywhere and just everything's like blessing her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like that goodness like summons more demons to her.
Really?
And then at the very end of the movie, the other guy that she's with dies.
Mm.
He's like killed by the demons and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the very end of it, she does summon her guardian angel. It's a wild scene because
Mm-hmm.
she goes upstairs. There's like a bright light coming from the upstairs, and she goes upstairs, and like the angel's like as big as the room.
Dang, dude.
And he's kneeling on one knee, and his sword is just gigantic.
Yeah.
This angel's like 14 feet tall.
Yeah.
With like armor
Uh-huh.
and everything. And like she goes in there and he talks to her and you can't hear anything. Like he talks and like the whole room just rumbles and you can't
Dang.
understand a thing that he says.
Yeah.
And and then but then she speaks to the angel and then the angel smiles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that scene ends.
Man.
And we learn that she did not ask for vengeance. What she asked for was for the ability to forgive.
That's what's up, dude.
She asked for the ability to forgive the people that killed her son. And it's
Dang.
just such a beautiful movie. It's such
Yeah.
a beautiful movie that has such great Christian themes
Yeah.
that was still a horror movie.
Right.
You, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of the best movies I've ever seen, horror based at least.
Yeah.
And I watch it like every other year in October.
Why
I'll
is
probably
that?
watch it tonight.
Why is that not talked about?
Huh?
Why is that movie not talked about?
I I don't know. It's great. It's a great movie. It's called A Dark Song. Probably because it upsets people.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yeah.
You know, when I'm
Oh,
just like, "That's actually like the coolest ending of any movie I've ever seen."
yeah. No, that's awesome. Dude.
It's kind of a long movie, kind of boring in some parts, but man, that ending is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like the movie ends with her like floating on her back in the pond behind the house, and like because she's free now.
Yeah.
It ends with her just being like weightless and her like, oh, I can finally let go of all that hatred I have.
Right. Dang, dude. I really need to watch
Yeah.
that movie. Just like we need to get through this book, but we're nowhere close.
Well,
even this chapter.
this episode is unofficially also Halloween based because it's October 22nd,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's I already kind of knew we were getting there when we started talking about things. I'm like, yeah, this is also about Halloween because that's just what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how do Christians celebrate Halloween, and I'm like, well, there are some ways, and that movie is a great example.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about your mindset, dude. I couldn't even name a single person that goes out to celebrate Halloween in the spirit of Satan. Like I don't I've met a lot of people from different countries in my life and never have I come across someone like that or even a witch or anything like that, which are also of Satan. But it's just there are very few people who put a negative spin on something that is otherwise probably harmless, right?
Yeah.
But this is the thing with everything. You can do that with absolutely anything. So here
Some
we are.
things definitely seem harmless that aren't.
Yeah.
And it's careful to know what those things are.
But
also, if you're not,
good.
I don't know. A lot of it has to do with conviction and discernment. I've been praying for more discernment because discernment is something that I'm not good at. I mean, I can tell when something's of God or not because I know the Word of God.
Preach.
But otherwise, I've met people that can like tell the kind of sins that people deal with just by meeting them.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they can feel the sin on you. They can feel the sin that you deal with.
Mm.
And those are the people that have the gift of discernment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where they can even discern specific spirits of sin.
Well.
And I have never had anything like that.
Mm-mm.
You know?
Oh like,
And that's what I mean by discernment, is just like
yeah.
knowing the spirits
Mm.
truly, when I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying that I have seen those people
Mm-hmm.
and them be correct.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially since, most people saw them as goofballs.
Right.
And then they'll like tell you something and you're like, I don't know how you know that. It's like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hmm. You almost feel offended in a way.
Yeah.
I feel seen.
Well,
Yeah,
which
well,
is
imagine that. God sees right through you.
yeah. And this book talks about
Sees
that.
everything.
You know, that ties into self-esteem and all that stuff. You're seeing that you are what you are, right?
Oh, right. I did have something to say about that,
Mm-hmm.
about this whole self-esteem thing, because that's a good example of something that is false,
Mm.
but also the truth.
What's that?
Well, they're saying that self-esteem does help you. Yeah, it does.
Mm.
It does, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't help you in the sight of God. But but
Right.
but I mean, people that have self-esteem for themselves are definitely going to act a lot better than people that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that is a fact,
Mm-hmm.
but not the truth.
Yeah.
That's what
Mm.
I meant to say earlier. I said it wrong. But yeah, that's a good example of something that's a fact, but not the truth. Because I love things that are like that,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, yeah, but this. And like, yeah, I get that. And that is a fact, but it's not the truth.
Yeah. Well, I think
The
even
truth
he
is
hits on
Jesus.
that. Yeah. Getting totally off topic. Vadi Bakum, right? It's amazing that he's in heaven and he's with the Lord after being such a faithful servant. But dude, we don't get anything new out of him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that was in the same vein of Charlie Kirk. Like we don't all we have left is the last thing
sure.
that he said, right? We don't get any new, but I'm sure they don't care
I mean,
about
with
that, right?
MacArthur, he was a really old man and wrote several
Oh
books,
yeah. Yeah.
but these guys didn't get that old. I mean,
Right.
at least Bodhi Bakum was middle aged, but
Yeah.
Charlie was younger than me,
Right. Yeah, that's what sucks,
younger
man.
than you.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And he did so much more than I've done with my life, dude. In a handful of years, he did way more than I'll probably ever do. But here is,
we're getting somewhere.
yeah,
Well, this is our fruit,
right.
and it's only going to grow more. These are the tiny seeds.
Mm-hmm.
It only grows from here,
Yeah.
Mitch,
No, that's true. Yeah. Point
because
taken.
I've always been so passive. I've been so passive my
Yeah.
whole life,
Yeah.
and now I'm taking a stand not to be passive,
Mm-hmm.
to say the thing I wanted to say.
Right.
You
It,
know,
yeah,
I
dude.
don't care if they're mad at me anymore.
Yeah.
If anything, the spirit's helping me with it, almost
Right.
enjoying it a little bit. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. He told me it would.
Yeah. Dude, I'm in the same boat. I used to let people say whatever they want and run all over me. But I guess in that way, this is what it is for you is what it is for me too, right? Like this
All
is
right.
our
Everyone
opportunity
knows
to good.
no, I was just going to say that everyone knows in my regular Discord that if they start blaspheming a lot, I'm just going to hang up I'm just going to
Yeah,
disappear.
that's great.
I'm just going to disconnect. I'm not even going to say anything.
Yeah,
I'm not even going not even going
yeah,
to say anything if they start saying, JC a lot or
yeah,
GD.
man.
I'm just like, boom, oh,
Yeah,
Brian's gone.
yeah. There's just so much power in that, dude.
What
Like,
you did. Yeah, you guys did that actually.
yeah,
Wasn't me that did that.
yeah, dude.
You know that you doing that makes me leave.
Right.
So
Well, just letting go of all the worldly things. A lot of it's still there, but there's just so much.
a lot of it's not there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, There's so much power in that,
I
dude.
feel
It's so
like
freeing.
I'm getting pretty far in my journey in a way, a lot more than it may seem like,
Yeah,
perhaps.
right. And
Um,
and you don't really notice that kind of thing. I guess I'll
because
leave.
I guess the sins, I don't know, the more that you let's. It's so funny that God gave me this thing to say immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And God showed me this image of like a shower head
Mm-hmm.
where you got hard water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like as one's as other holes get plugged.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that's a sin that you've dealt with,
Yeah.
so that's gone. All that does is increase the pressure
Yeah.
of the other holes,
Mm-hmm.
and so I feel like I've gotten rid of a lot of sins, and now the ones that do are like stronger than ever.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
100%.
ah,
Yeah.
the water pressure is too
Mm-hmm.
high.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And, so that's kind of how it is for me at the moment.
Yeah.
That I've cut so many sins out that the ones that remain seems as strong as ever. And that doesn't really make me feel bad. That just I know that's God reassured me earlier today that He's
Mm-hmm.
like, you're where you're supposed to be, man.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, it's a work in progress. Everyone is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to lose sight of that, though, dude. It's so easy to lose sight of that.
Sometimes it's a few steps back,
Mm-hmm.
but it's always forward. It
Yeah.
can be two steps forward and one step back. That's still one step forward.
Yeah. No, 100%. But you can lose sight
If
of
we
that,
just
and it's dangerous, I think.
if we just get like 0.5% better
Mm-hmm.
every week or
Amen.
day, eventually you'll be 100% better.
Amen. Yeah. It's
If
only
we
up from
just
here, dude.
accumulate
You know?
and cultivate
Yeah.
rather,
Yeah.
and bloom.
Mm-hmm.
I like to use more plant terms because Jesus uses it so much for the spiritual world.
Oh, yeah. So much. And I find it so much more often now that I'm thinking about it. But,
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah. Anyways, man.
We gotta get going.
Yeah, sure do, bud.
All righty.
All right. Well, until next time, huh?
All right.
Bye now.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.